Let's talk about Virgil Hawkins, aka Static, in my DC cinematic universe. Virgil is an amazing kid. His father, Robert Hawkins, after the death of his mother, Jean, raised him and his older sister, Sharon, to be amazing, outstanding kids. Unfortunately for Virgil, his own academic success made him the target of a lot of bullying. One of his bullies was a boy named Francis Stone. Francis picked on this guy all the fucking time, but one day, Francis would get beat up while trying to beat up Virgil. You see, Francis was in one of the gangs that called Dakota City their home, and he was attacked by one of the other gangs, specifically by a man named Ivan Evans. After saving Virgil from Francis's beating, they put him under protection. They would constantly hit him up for favors, always referencing the fact that he owes them because they saved him from Francis, and eventually they invited him to join the gang full time. Virgil tried to refuse because Virgil does not want any part of that, but Ivan's gang was getting ready for a full-on war with Francis's gang. They needed as many people with guns as they could get. They told Virgil when and where to be and warned him of the negative consequences of not showing up. Later, on the night that he was supposed to meet the gang, he was staying home. He was trying to ignore it. He was not going to go. But then his dad tells him a story about this weird purple car that kept revving its engine outside of his office that day. And Virgil knows that that purple car belonged to Ivan. So Virgil just tells his dad he has something to do and he left the house. Virgil goes to the place where he was supposed to. He's running late, and lucky for him, that would be his saving grace. Just before he gets to where he was supposed to meet, he hears gunfire, and there was a full-on shootout happening in the streets. Police showed up to the scene and fired a weird kind of gas. It didn't look like tear gas because this gas was like neon green. Both gangs would be incapacitated by this gas, and as the gas was spreading out around the block, it would get to Virgil. Virgil would inhale some of it, but not enough to make him pass out, but enough to give him a nasty cough. He would run out of there, running from police who saw him fleeing from the scene and assumed that he was involved. And so he had to run from the police to get home. And then he got home and his cough got worse. He eventually started coughing up blood, he developed a fever, and eventually he collapsed in the kitchen. His dad made him stay home for the next couple days, thinking something was very wrong. But then one night, after the worst bout of this weird sickness he had, he was fine. He woke up feeling better than ever. It's later revealed in the movie that the gas that was used in this shootout mutated anyone with a metagene and activated their dormant abilities. Virgil would come to find that he has electromagnetic manipulation abilities, and he would become a superhero calling himself Static. Using tech whipped up for him by his best friend, Richie Foley, Static would become the teenage superhero that Dakota City always needed. And after his father finds out his secret, his father would tell him to seek out his uncle, the brother of his dead mother. And that uncle is none other than Jefferson Pierce Black Lightning. Static would re-inspire his uncle to go back to fighting against crime, and Black Lightning would mentor Static on how to use this shit to the best of his ability. Static gets his own standalone movie in phase 1 of my DC Cinematic Universe. He gets a sequel in the second phase, and he joins the Titans and basically becomes the leader of the Titans. This dude gets a lot of all the time, all the movies, superhero, Static Shock motherfuckers.